Hey, welcome back. This is part two of the tragedy and truth case of Miss Sonya Massey out of Sangamon County, Illinois, in the city of Springfield, and her deadly unaliving at the hands of former Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson. I really wanted to come back and talk about the three components of this case because they are very, very important and they actually hit close to home. But first, I want to go ahead and extend my condolences once again to the family of Miss Sonya Massey. Children have lost a mother, parents have lost a daughter, and siblings have lost a sister, and friends have lost a friend. This was a tragedy that could have definitely been avoided. It is definitely unjustifiable, but if it was justifiable, believe me, I would have said so. But the most important thing about this is that the Sangamon County State's Attorney's Office, they have deemed this a shooting as unjustifiable according to the constitutional standards based in Graham and Connor, that this was not objectively reasonable to take these measures of this deadly use of force. And the reason why I said I wanted to just come in and just touch bases on a little bit that was shared in the transcript. I'm not going to share, of course, the entire video. What I really want to focus on is the interaction, the dialogue between Miss Massey, former Deputy Grayson, as well as his partner, and the body language. As I said, there is a natural component, there is a mental health component to this, and there also is a supernatural component to this. Now, many of you will not understand the supernatural component, but there is. Ms. Massey said throughout this interaction, she called on the Lord. She also, made some reference to things that we say, those of us who are evangelicals, that we say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, when we are experiencing difficulties or different oppositions or the interactions with the adversary, whether it's a person or whether it's something along the lines of demonic, if you will. And so I'm going to link the video. I'm going to link it in the description. But as I said, this case hits close to home. I personally had a sibling that, because they were having a mental health episode and crises, that they were attempting to break into a home that they thought was their home. And the sheriff's department was called out. And fortunately, this sheriff's deputy recognized that this was a mental health episode, and my sibling walked away with their life. But unfortunately, Miss Massey did not. So, like, comment, share, subscribe. Remember, give your speculative insights, opinions. However, facts will always override the insights and opinions. Let's go. In this short initial interaction, we're going to see former Deputy Grayson. He's going to knock on the door again. He did knock a couple of times. He did announce himself. He did, state, where he was from. And so this particular instance, he's going to knock on the door. We're going to see his body language. We're going to hear the inflection in his voice, and we're going to be able to observe how he's, behaving and what he does.
Hold on. You come in the door or not? All right, hurry up.
Okay, see with this right here, we can see that he's a little impatient. He's a little agitated at this point. He asks, with a raised voice, "Are you coming to the door or not?" And we're going to see, too, once we go a little further in the video, why Miss Massey kind of says some of the things that she says. And I believe, in my opinion, that this is one of the reasons why she says what she says. So he says, "Are you coming to the door or not?" And she responds, and then he says, "Okay." And then he raises his voice and says, "Hurry up." And then you notice he kind of kicks his foot on the ground. Those are all red flags and indications of people that have a poor impulse control. Let's keep going.
Sheriff's office, the one you called.
How do you down here? And I didn't
Oh, we heard you. You called us.
Okay,
We're not
please.
over. So what'd you hear?
Somebody
Is this your car over here?
please.
Is this your car over here? Oh, that's not your black car in the driveway? Oh, well, we checked your yard. We walked around the whole block. We didn't see anybody. Right? We don't. We checked the whole area. They're just walking around. What do you need help with?
Nothing. I just please. I don't know what to do.
Do with what?
What do you need help with?
Nothing. I just wanted to see if I could help me.
What do you want help with?
What?
What do you want help with?
I heard somebody outside.
Yeah, we checked your house. We checked your backyard. I walked all the way through all these backyards. We checked your front yard.
We didn't see nobody.
Yeah,
So.
nobody's out here.
You didn't see anybody?
Nope.
Oh.
Checked the whole area.
Okay.
What took you so long to answer the door?
Oh, I was trying to put on some clothes, sir. I'm sorry. I was trying to.
I got you. All right. Is there anything else we can
Okay,
do
so
for
we
you?
see up until this point, the exchange is very calm, is cordial. You see that former Deputy Grayson was asking her about the vehicle. As you see, Miss Massey was scrolling her phone as if she was trying to find someone's number, and she also appears to be very cordial, very polite. She says, "No, sir," or "Yes, sir." And the exchange was very, very pleasant between those two, but she still seems to be in a small state of confusion. You can also hear her say, "Again, I just need your help." And then former Deputy Grayson says, "What do you need? What can we help you with?" And you even hear his partner chime in and ask the same question, and they continue to reassure her that, of course, they did walk the property and they saw that there was nothing there. So we're going to go past this point a little bit, and we're going to hear, this is where the mental health component is going to come in. And then at the end, I'll just briefly address the supernatural component.
Okay. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure.
My medicine.
All right.
Okay, so let's stop it right there. When he said, he repeated, "Is there anything else I can do for you?" And she looks scared right there. And so she says no. That's when she turns to grab the door. And right before that, right after that, he asks, are you feeling, are you doing mentally all right today? And she says, yes, I took my medication. So that's the mental health part. So they know right then and there she takes medication. So I'm not going to go into the video where they go into her home because we know what happened. But we're going to just start at the part here of the footage where there is this a diabolical supernatural exchange between former Deputy Grayson and Miss Massey, as well as his partner. It reads here in the footage, Deputy Sean Grayson and another deputy speak calmly with Massey in her home when she goes to the stove to turn off a pot of boiling water. And to note here, I believe that was a mistake. Because they know that she's having a mental health episode or she has mental health issues, it would not be beneficial or smart to tell her, or to allow her to go and turn off a hot boiling pot of water. It would have been best for one of them to have her stay where she was, and then the other officer go and turn off the stove and move the pot for her. Because if that would have taken place, if they would have understood mental health crises or mental health intervention, they would know they would know these things. So it goes on to say she then puts up the pot, and then the other deputy steps back, end quote, and quote, excuse me, he says, away from your hot steaming water, end quote. So she puts the pot up, but he tells her to move away from the hot steaming water. Then this is when Ms. Massey says, quote, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, end quote, she says in response. The deputy, and I believe it's former Deputy Grayson, says, huh, end quote. The deputy says, quote, she says again, excuse me, this is when Ms. Massey says again, quote, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, end quote, she repeats. And this when former Deputy Grayson appears to be just, he's agitated. And I believe that he believed that she was going to throw that pot of water on him, but that's not what she said. That's not even how she moved. So after this, former Deputy Grayson says, you better effing not, or I swear to God, I'll effing shoot you in the effing face, end quote. Grayson says. He then draws his firearm and he points it at her, and then she ducks and says, quote, I'm sorry, end quote, while lifting the pot. The video shows she did lift the pot, and I'm not sure she was lifting the pot to protect herself or not. And then former Deputy Grayson says, quote, drop the effing pot. Both deputies actually yell this. 3 shots are then heard. After a few seconds of silence, one deputy says, shots fired, and calls for emergency medical services. Quote, this is Officer Grayson. He says, dude, I'm not taking effing boiling water to the effing head. And look, it came right to our feet too, end quote, Grayson says. And so when the pot of water went up, you could see the steam, and you did see the water formulate on the floor. Yet again, I believe in my assessment that he was impulsive because he did not have to take that step. He had training, I read, in pepper spray. He also had training in the taser. So he had received a satisfactory training certificate in both of those. It's a wonder, like, why did he go to extreme deadly force, this extreme deadly use of force? Because most departments, they will tell you to shoot center mass, but he didn't. He actually did shoot her in the face as he said that he would. So again, that shows me he has poor impulse control. He does not use critical thinking skills. He does not, understand mental health crises, issues. So this did not have to happen. This absolutely did not have to happen. This is an absolute tragedy. And my opinion is former Deputy Grayson should never, ever, ever be allowed on anyone's police force. He is not emotionally or mentally equipped. He's psychologically unstable. He is, to me, in a sense, unhinged, as he does not know how to handle high risk or high risk situations. He does not know how to determine how to navigate them properly. So minutes after the shooting, it says that Grayson speaks to another law enforcement figure. And I believe this is outside. He says, quote, "She had boiling water and came at me with boiling water," end quote. He says in the video, quote, "She said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came at me with boiling water," end quote. And we know now that that is actually a lie. So at this point, to go ahead and wrap this up, Grayson, who is 30, was indicted by a grand jury. This happened last week. It was on 3 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count each of aggravated battery with a firearm and official misconduct. He has entered a not guilty plea and was denied pretrial release according to court records. Again, my condolences goes out to this family. This was absolutely uncalled for. And personally, I don't believe that this was race-based. I don't believe that it was race-based. I believe that it was just a person who was diabolical, who is just a very angry, bitter person that does not need to carry a weapon. He does not know how to interact with the people that he serves in the community. And this is just absolutely disgusting behavior. Take care, everyone.